Hi, this is Mish Hancock, and you are listening to MichMash, a place where I get to talk to the weird, wacky, wonderful people of this world, people I adore and want to know more about. Today, my guest is Yvonne Osei. Yvonne is a German-born Ghanaian conceptual artist. I'm going to do that again. I lost my rhythm. German-born Ghanaian conceptual artist. I have to say it all together. All right, I'm ready. Hi, this is Mish Hancock, and you are listening to MichMash, a place where I get to talk to the weird, wacky, wonderful people of this world, people I adore and want to know more about. Today, my guest is Yvonne Osei. Yvonne is a German-born Ghanaian conceptual artist, curator, and art educator. Her work explores the politics of clothing. She uses her creative voice to redefine cultural identities, national origin, and self. Hi, Yvonne.
Hi, how are you doing?
That's kind of a mouthful. You do a lot, but you do amazing.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I have had the honor of meeting you through our TEDx Gateway Arch Crash Course event that you were just a part of back in September.
Yeah.
So,
Can't believe it's been a month already.
I know, right? It like goes by so fast. It feels like it was just yesterday because those events, they kind of resonate with you for a while, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But tell me about your experience.
I think it was both exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. I think that having a stage, any stage whatsoever, to really tell your story is something that's really powerful and something that is, I think, a privilege. It's an opportunity. So it's exciting that I got that stage to really talk about things that I care about and things that are pertinent to me, and to have others also hear that.
And it's amazing. I mean, so, I get to stalk everybody a little bit before they come here. And I was just, it's amazing all the work you have out there. And it's amazing how there's this sense to me, like, I'm going to forget what the name of the video is. There was one video I watched, and I believe you did it in St. Louis. I remember seeing some St. Louis. And some people wouldn't talk. They were just standing there with, and I was getting emotional just watching this person standing there. How do you, that's art. That's getting at the core of a person, right?
Yeah.
So where do I'm sure, where do your ideas come from? Oh, the universe gives them to you. I know, but what is it like? That feeling for you of taking, just a person standing there and making it have this feeling and emotion around it. Like, what goes into something like that? It's intriguing.
Yeah, I think that for me, with where the ideas come from, it's different sources, different places. But I think one of the things that I draw inspiration from a lot is where I come from. I'm from Ghana,
right?
I'm from the Ashanti Kingdom in Ghana, which is in the middle part of the country, and it. Knowing a little bit, I grew up in Accra, which is the capital of Ghana, but I used to go back and forth Accra and Ashanti Kingdom, and just witnessing how art manifested in that culture really spoke to me. It's really about it being used on a day-to-day, like what we wore, some of the chairs that we sat on, jewelry. Textiles had so much meaning. And so I draw inspiration from that, but I also draw inspiration from people that I come into contact with. For me, art has become a way of life, and it's really about the experiences that I go through, some of the things that I notice about the societies that I live in, and also through travel, noticing things through travel, asking deeper questions of how we're presenting our society or ourselves. I believe that what you were talking about was from Utopia with Love, a collection that I had made.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. There's a lot of beauty in St. Louis. There's a lot of beauty in the people that also live here. And I really wanted to honor that beauty and honor that the personhood of the people that were in the video. as much as St. Louis might be challenged, it is also a moving city. It's a thriving city to some respect. And so in that video, you're presented with different landscapes of St. Louis, some more challenging than others. But I really wanted the person in his or her stillness to just be in the space and to be present in the landscape.
Very cool. I loved it. So with what, how did you get here? Let me ask you that. How did you get to St. Louis?
So I moved here in 2009. I was really looking for an art education, and the reason why I didn't stay in Ghana was that we were being taught Western education, and so for me, Western art education. So for me, it was like, well, if you're going to be taught Western art education, then you might as well come to the West to study
check it
that.
out. See what's really going on over there.
Yeah, and I also thought that that I would be, well served as far as Western art education is concerned here. I also had interests in dual degrees, so I was really interested in international studies and what it means to be a global citizen, or what it means to go out there and see the world on your own, or see it, through your own lens. And so Ghana at that time did not have the dual degree option. So I came here to the United States to do that.
Gotcha. Okay. And I mean, I'm going to so agree with you about traveling and what that can teach you, right? In fact, so I met a woman not too long ago, and she's traveled to it's like 70 countries or something crazy. And she has this goal, but she was saying that she had once read that you will never ever regret the money you spend on travel, and I was like, I think that's so true.
Yeah, I actually agree with that, because there's something that is so embedded when you travel. Those experiences, those memories that you share become a part of who you are.
Yes.
It's almost like you know it firsthand when you experience a place. Not to say that you're going to know everything about the place.
Right.
But you do have a deep sense of the place.
You get a feel for the culture and the people and what resonates with them. And the other thing is, I really do feel that being a global citizen, as you said, that how do you get to be that? One is really through travel.
Yes.
And my daughter, I've taken her for her first, overseas, travel just last, this year. And I can already tell that it changed both of us, right? We both came back with experiences that made us better people.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to London. That's because I've gone total recycling girl now. I'm like way into it, because it was a thing. It's like it's a part of their culture there big time, right? And so then you come back here and you're like, I will do this too. This is very good. We got to take this all up to the next level, people. So where else have you lived? Or traveled?
I've traveled to Germany, Switzerland, Greece, Austria. I actually did a study abroad in Austria. I did a study abroad in Germany, in Berlin. I've been to Togo, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Jamaica recently.
I actually, I'll have to tell you about a podcast by a gentleman from Togo.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, I will share that with you later. But that was an eye-opening experience. He taught me a lot.
Wow.
Very cool. Any place that you feel is like tippy top?
I would say I was fascinated with Croatia. I went to this I would say a small town called Puric.
Okay.
And I think I was fascinated by the floors. They had these marble floors that would glitter when the sun, rises or sets. And or when it's sunny, it was quite breathtaking to see. And I made a lot of friends in no time. I was there for about 3-4 days, and it was delightful.
What are the floors made out of?
I'm not sure. It's some sort of stone or marble. It was some of the alleyways are laid with that, and it was
really?
Quite beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, how pretty!
Yeah.
A sparkly city. I love it. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with Yvonne. Very cool. What do you want us to really talk about? Like, what's top of mind you want to make sure we get out there?
Maybe like some of the curatorial works that I've done.
Okay.
Some of the upcoming exhibitions or exhibitions that I have.
Yes. Let's talk about all of that.
And then art education, like the future of art or how art can serve.
Why it's important and why we shouldn't be cutting it out of things.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to go there. That's a good idea. All right, ready when you are, Rich. Okay, we're back with Yvonne Osei. So let's talk about things you have done and things you are doing.
Yeah, so currently I curated an exhibition at the Coca.
Okay.
At the Millstone Gallery there, and it's titled Adornment. And for a while I've been really fascinated with the word adornment, and when you look it up in the dictionary, it has the noun definition and then the verb definition.
Right.
That when you say adornment, it can refer to some of the ornaments that you wear, or the actual tangible material, but it's also the action of adorning.
Oh, cool.
And, yeah, so I was fascinated with this idea of the noun and the verb, and how that can be, brought into an exhibition space. So the works at the Millstone Gallery, now it shows artists Basil Kincaid, a jewelry artist, designer Euro Newson, an artist that's based in Minneapolis called Seth Ai, and then Yoshian Ku, who's also a local artist, and myself. So, and the works are kind of tied around the body, what we put on our bodies as identifiers of, ourselves, or of things that we believe in or we stand for, or defiance of authority, or acceptance of authority, or a celebration of culture and beauty in a way. So, yeah, that's going on till December 15th.
Oh, wow. That sounds gorgeous. I love the idea. I love words. And I love looking at, where did the word come from and what does it really, really mean? So when you said adornment, I was thinking adore as well. Like, I don't know if that comes into play. Like,
absolutely. I think that when this idea of adoring something is something that you hold dear, to yourself. And there's certain objects and certain moments that we hold dear to that is also encapsulated in this exhibition. I'll reference one of my works, which is a performance work that we did at the opening of the exhibition, where I brought in two barbers in the space to cut the hair of the community that were willing to participate in this exhibition.
Really?
So it was really about this idea of the Black culture, and how hair cutting is it's an integral part of the culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's so much bigger than people, if you don't know, right? And I just know a little bit, enough though, that, I mean, I feel like my Black girlfriends that are, hair is a thing.
Yeah.
There is a lot more to it than people would know. Like, your hair is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
So that looks like it took a lot of work to get that to happen.
Yeah.
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 It's not just like cut, wash it, dry it, you're good.
No. It's a whole. When I think of my hair, personally, I think of sisterhood, because it was that time that you would carve a way to spend time with your sisters, or you guys would go to a salon to get your hair fixed. So there's definitely a memories are tied to your hair,
Right.
right. Whether it's getting extensions in or having cornrow. Sometimes that I'll even have friends do that for me. So it's more of a relationship experience for me.
It's got that community.
Yes,
Feels like community
definitely.
around it. I love it. So let's talk about art.
Okay.
Because sometimes I don't know that education celebrates art like it should be celebrated. You know, it seems like one of those things it's easy for people to go, oh, we don't need an art class. They got to learn math. You know what I mean? So let's talk about that because it is actually quite important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that the creative thinking is something that is integral for whatever educational background that you're in, and I'm definitely an advocate for the arts because whether it's irrespective of whatever field it is, it really helps you to think critically about what you're seeing.
Right.
And as human beings, we're visual people, and so I think it should be integral to educate people about how to really see and how to develop a language around seeing.
Well, and you think about how many movements were started because some artist did something, whether it be musically or visually or what have you, someone called attention to it through the arts.
Right, and I also think the arts is also saving lives. When you look at the field of medicine and you look at the field of psychology, and the list goes on and on. It's really this idea of looking and experimenting that actually causes the results. So I'm also fascinated when universities or colleges come up with hybrid courses that incorporate the arts somehow for a balanced sort of curriculum. I think those things fascinate me, and those are things that I'm even looking forward to implementing back in my own home country in Ghana.
Oh, how cool. I like that idea because it uses both sides of the brain.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely.
Very cool. I love, well, there is something to be, I mean, so I have not, you don't want me doing art, okay? I can draw some stick figures, they're kind of expressive, but I think art is more than what people think. More than, and you've taken it into this whole other realm with the clothing and the film and the performance. And there's just, I love how it's like, you're just a well of you're just creating. I mean, do you ever stop?
I think that art, like I was saying, art is so art is kind of, it's lived. It's not something that you would kind of wear and then take off.
Right.
Right. It's something that is a part of who you are. It's an integral part of who you are that you cannot necessarily separate. And so for me, I'm also really interested in bringing that to people, and taking it from the museum walls or from the gallery experience into the community, into public space.
Right.
And what do those forms look like? What does that mean? And like I was talking about my Ashanti culture, there I really saw how there's a place for the viewer or the community actually looking or beholding the art.
Okay.
Whether it's a performance or an object, and I found that even more intriguing, that the viewers themselves can legitimize this whole process of art.
Oh,
and so bringing that
okay.
into public space, or even if it's a garment that is worn, where the body becomes a vehicle where that's being the art is kind of moving through, is something that's exciting for me.
It's amazing. It's amazing. If people would look you up, they would find out so much about. Tell people where you can be found, by the way. So that,
yeah, sure. I mean, so I'm on Instagram. The handle is Yvonne. So it's EVE_OF_ON. My website is Yvonne Osei, first name, last name, .com, or Vimeo.com/Yvonne Osei.
All right. So you can see all your goodness. Okay, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with Yvonne. And it's question time, darling.
Super.
So fun.
Good?
I'm good. I'm ready.
Okay.
All right, we are back with Yvonne Osei, and it's question time, dearest. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Go.
So I am super intrigued. One of the things I noticed is a lot of the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
The material is not something I just go down the street and buy at my material store. Do you make your own material?
So I designed the textiles to have them produced, and the textiles can be inspired. There was a collection that was actually inspired by skins and different body
Is this one with
features.
the lips and
One with
the
the
ears
lips
and the
ears.
yes? Oh my God, I loved those. I thought those were awesome.
Oh, thank you. So those are photographic renditions of people's skins and body parts that I have collected over, I would say, about 8 years, that I pull from time to time. And I was really fascinated with this idea of what happens when you take on another complexion.
Okay.
Through clothing. What becomes of race then? If skin was interchangeable, what becomes of race?
Interesting.
So that was birthed from that. And then I transitioned into looking at architectural landscape and environmental spaces. I had a solo exhibition at Longmire Sculpture Park about 2 years ago, and it was really looking at the curator had said that we really want you to put yourself in our collection, but when I went into the collection, I wasn't finding any work or anything that I would kind of latch on to as a way to build off of. So I started taking pictures of the park and of the works in the park in different seasons. And what I realized that I can let myself into the park if I change the language around the park. So what happens if, let's say, the Tony Tassett eyeball becomes a circle that is then used into the language of textiles that I'm comfortable in, and then used as clothing, so
and what does that process look like? I mean, you come up with this idea, and who makes these textiles? How do you make all this happen? I'm fascinated by this thought, right?
Yeah, so how it happens is I build a database of photographs, and then I almost like I'm photo montaging digitally. So I would lay a photo on another, or take out aspects of the photo, insert colors, and it's really looking at the aesthetics of West African fabrics, traditional and imported, fabrics, and looking at the aesthetics of that and creating my own aesthetics based on that inspiration. So a lot of it is vibrant in nature, a lot of very colorful, celebratory symbols and things that I'm weaving into the textile designs, and then they're then printed for fabric for garment production.
Okay, all right. So it's like printed on, but you have relationships with people that like, here is my design, put it on material.
Yes.
This is the kind of material I want.
Yes.
It's so cool. I just love it. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I wouldn't even have the thought to go, hey, I think I'll go design my own material. Now I do. Watch out. How would you describe your aesthetic? I mean, I know it changes, so we can go with now, or, what. Because it's varied.
Yeah.
But it has this also Yvonne feel to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that I will describe it as, I want to say, optimistic in nature. As far as the material, currently I'm looking at the language of textiles.
Okay.
And garment construction. I'm actually doing a master's at Lindenwood University in fashion design and business to learn how to construct my own garments, because initially I was taking them back to my home country in Ghana to have them done. So right now I would definitely say it's something that's vibrant, celebratory, optimistic, community-based, filled with love.
I love it. Oh, yes. It does feel that way. I mean, oh my gosh, that's perfect. You just said it. Awesome. Thank you. So, is there a movie or a show that you've ever watched that you just love the look of whatever they're doing, whether that be through the clothing or the cinematography, or that you felt inspired by?
Are we talking more mainstream or
I think we're
art
talking
film?
whatever you want to talk, because it's all about you.
Mainstream, I would say. I know this is probably a lot of people's favorites, but I really like The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
I find that movie really fascinating. I've watched it, I'd say, about 10 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I've watched it like 2 or 3. Yeah, I really have, because it is really interesting.
It is interesting.
The whole
The
thought
dynamic.
about, yes.
The dynamics in the video, in the movie, the characters.
And the whole thought that, you had to dress all woo-woo to get even noticed. And,
Yeah,
I mean, because it's interesting. Me, I am pretty much tennis shoes and jeans girl, right? I love tennis shoes, though. I have many, but I know sometimes I feel like, I got to kind of dress up to be in this one space, What does that look like for Mish to dress up? I mean, I can do it, but it's not as comfortable for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that, as human beings, we have to find I think comfort is primary, it's number one.
I know.
And you need to identify that.
I got to figure out how to make that translate into some of the places I go to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been one of those things I've played with, like, how do I still be Mish in this space? Because Mish is pretty much tennis shoes and blue jeans.
And then that's it.
Maybe that's
Then
why
that's
I
it.
love TED, right? That's why I love the TEDx stage. Is all about really being truly authentic to who you are.
Yeah, and I think that transcends, trying to be some sort of a fashion person. You need to find yourself and be comfortable in that, and be authentic to who you are. I think discovering that is even more important.
I love it so much. So I have to tell you, when we were at the crash course event, I mean, you looked fabulous, of course,
Oh, thank you.
but I felt like the audience was just sending you the love. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, I think the whole, just even from the beginning, to the end, it's really about getting that your story across and having people that support you in that. That's pretty wild.
Right. And was it fun to go through the process? It's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work.
No, it's all good. It was absolutely. I think for me, what I really took home with, there were 2 things. Is my coach, Michael Donovan.
Oh, great! Yes,
he went above and beyond. Being
He's
there for
awesome.
me,
Yes.
supporting me, and the cohort that I came in, Sarah. The 4 of us were. I think it's something that it builds those relationships.
You feel bonded, right?
Yeah,
it's
those
like you became part of a club.
Yes,
absolutely. Together. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. So what is next for you?
Oh, so tomorrow I'm actually headed to Indiana University in Bloomington. So I'm really excited about that. I'll be engaging their graduate students in a workshop. I'll be having a performance there, a lecture. So I'm really excited about that.
Very cool.
And I'm currently working on a body of work. It's a series of textiles that's really looking at the history and the current state of St. Louis.
Ooh,
Yeah.
All right, more to come,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Ever evolving. I love it. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for being a guest today.
No, thank you for having me. This has been an absolute treat.
I totally appreciate your time. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. And everybody be on the lookout out there, because Yvonne is always doing more and interesting things. You've been listening to MichMash. Go to iTunes and subscribe. Thank you.